So these women are clearly passionate about the mission of hospice, and as a result, we have the wonderful treat of having some really fun questions for them. They looked at a list of questions and picked some of their favorites, and so we're going to run around with them a little bit, and all of us are going to come away all the wiser and have a little bit of fun. And I'm going to start with you, Lee. I wonder if you would be willing to share a memorable person whose words were meaningful to you.
Well, I have to start out with saying when I birthed my first child, I thought it was a miracle that I had produced another human being. When my minister came in, I was just in awe of this miracle. And he said, well, you know, there are two things that happen to everybody in life. Everybody is born, you know, for 9 months you're going to have a baby, and you still think it's a miracle, and it is. And we live our whole lives knowing that we're going to die, and we're never prepared. So he said the two things in life that happen to everyone, we're really never prepared. Then I thought about what is in between, which is our lives, and actually we are miracles. When you think about your body, and you think about all of the systems in it that work together, and you don't have to tell your brain to tell your throat to swallow. We're just all miracles, but we're all on the same journey of life. And so you have to think about who you are and where you're going, and making the best of it. But be sure to enjoy it as you go along. Thanks.
That's fabulous. I love that. We could probably just wrap it up right now. Thank you, Lee. LeMay, I'd like to ask you, what is your life's motto?
So my life's motto is throw kindness like confetti. I love that phrase. I actually have it stenciled above my desk at work. And it's one of those things where when my dad went into hospice care, we had no idea what to expect, right? We were very young. I was the oldest of 9. My sister was 7. My brother was 5. So we knew that Daddy was ill, but that's about as far as we knew, that Daddy was very ill, and now we needed people to come in and help Daddy because Mom couldn't maintain it herself. And so when it passed, as it was shared, I kind of went on the yard and I played soccer to kind of process. And I was astounded by the kindness that hospice came in with. I mean, these people were like angels, right? I was 9 years old. Dad was very sick. You could see the weight lifted off of my mom's shoulders when hospice came to the house. It was like she could breathe again, right? And the night that he passed was the first night, the second night after, was the first time she actually cooked in the house. I think it was part of a mental process, right, to kind of grieve through. But it was also, she invited all of the hospice members that had been there for the months to come in. Our pastor was there, my sister played the piano, and it was literally just throw kindness like confetti. That's something that's just kind of stapled, because you never know who needs what and who's really dealing with what, and if they fully comprehend everything that's in front of them. That hospice was there and amazing, and they're exactly right. I waited 10 years, and the day that I could, I was like, hi, I'm here. And I really, really, really like to help you.
And you have many times over. For at least 7 years, I believe, you've been serving as a counselor at camp. Gail, you enjoyed that question too, so I'm going to ask you the same one. What is your life's motto?
My life's motto is to thine own self be true. Because I think we are put in situations all the time where we think we have to be someone or something else to make other people happy, or to fit in here, or whatever it may be that is our motivation. But at the end of the day, if you can't just be true to yourself and really understand who you are and what you're about and what makes you happy, then I think we spend our lives really in a falsehood, you know. And I think sometimes we're afraid. We're afraid that we're not going to be accepted for exactly who we are with all our little quirks and idiosyncrasies. But, you know, I think there's nothing more perfect than us to truly be ourselves and put that true self out there for the world to see. And again, sometimes people will like it, and sometimes they may not. Doing what I did for a living for 38 years, being in front of people on TV, you run into a lot of people who say really interesting things to you, ask you really funny questions, you know, and have an expectation that you're going to be a certain person because you're on TV. And I think what they found out when those happened with me is that I'm basically a tomboy who's not as sophisticated as I probably should be, but that's who I am. And so I think that for me, that's what's always worked, just being true to myself, being who I am, and not trying to be someone else for someone else. It's worked so far.
And you have been, Gail.
Thanks, Gabby.